hasn't updated. I don't know what's wrong with mine, but every time I go on Twitter, it's always just twitter.com and not x.com. Oh, wait, no, I just went on it. I just went on it. It updated just now. And we got quite a lot today. We got new Teslas losing Steam, so Steam applications can no longer run on the new Teslas coming out. GTA 6 release date has been announced. I know that's a huge headline. And something that I've been really pissed off about is Intel 13th and 14th gen have been having some instability issues. Those those are just a few of the headlines. Yep. I mean that's all the way back in 1999 or like early 2000, right? X.com. I mean, Twitter's just such an iconic name. Like, even though it's X.com, I'm sure people will be calling it Twitter for like so long into the future. I even doubt the name Twitter will go away. Yeah, tweeting just iconic thing for Twitter for X.com. So getting rid of that kind of trademark is bit bit weird, but you know, it's not the weirdest thing Elon's done. It's not the weirdest thing Elon's done, so yeah, I don't think there's anything more to say. Alright, new Teslas might lose Steam support. So, kind of a big thing back in, I think, 2021, starting off, is that uh, the Elon Musk said that Teslas would have Steam and, most importantly, just video games on high-end, like Cyberpunk 2077, Witcher 3, all playable on Teslas. So you wouldn't even need to leave your car to go gaming, which would have been crazy. But obviously, there's limited space to put a GPU in a car with enough cooling. Um, so the idea went away pretty quickly, and they had a lot of issues with powering the GPU and having enough RAM to actually run those games. To the point where I think they're starting to scrap the idea. I mean, they already got rid of Sonic apparently. So I don't think the watching TV and stuff like that will go away. All those applications will be fine. Even watching YouTube, you have those in other car models, but I feel like the losing Steam support was such a huge. Well, it wasn't a huge thing to buying a Tesla, but was definitely a appeal that Tesla had over other vehicles. Whereas just having YouTube and movie support isn't that big a deal anymore.
Be a very good situation if
If you're playing Steam,
yeah,
well, imagine if you're playing a racing sim while driving.
yeah. That wouldn't end well. The police would not like that. Um, there we go. I've sorted out the audio. My mic wasn't working. Uh, so now all of you watching live, well, all of one viewer watching live should be able to hear me. So that's good. Um, but the thing with Teslas, they seem to be removing actually important features as well as this. Like they removed the ultrasonic sensors and LiDAR sensors last year, which for
Yeah,
full self-driving would be really important as a backup to the cameras on a day with bad weather.
I mean, also, they're starting to limit or temporarily uh like keep an active auto park and kind of self-driving as a whole. Some of those are being limited and um kind of removed. Some of them are apparently going to be removed as well as it transitions away from being able to use Steam and stuff like that.
Yeah. Um, there's another thing I was going to say. Ah, I've forgotten. But then there's also the thing about the accelerator just coming off. And they should have thought to actually fasten it to the thing. It's 10 o'clock. uh, they should have thought to fasten the pedal to the stick thing that activates it.
Yeah.
There's a name for it. I've forgotten that. Uh, yeah, so not looking the best for Tesla at the moment, is it?
Honestly, not looking good for Elon Musk
Yeah.
as of recent.
Although Elon Musk has recently posted um, asking users if he should bring back Vine. Uh, yeah. Post in the chat if you think that's a good idea. Is that it for this topic?
Think so.
Okay, then I guess on to our next one. The release date for GTA 6 has been announced. Um, the memes will say that they won't keep to this. But anyway, it's set for fall in the US of 2025, so that's, oh wait, autumn 2025. Wait, that's fall, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's the
Okay.
same thing.
So September, October, November 2025. Um, which, yeah, there'll be a lot of happy customers if they get out on time. If they don't, then it'll become more of a meme. Uh, yeah, when was GTA 5 released?
It's got to be at least 10 years.
2013,
I
so
think it was back, yeah.
11 years ago. Um, 17th
So
of
it'll be
September
12 years. It will
2013.
literally be 12 years old as soon as GTA 6 comes out,
Yeah,
which is ridiculous.
yeah, it better live up to the hype and support Linux. um,
I mean, with this big of a release,
yeah,
hoping it supports Linux.
yeah, we've got more on Linux support a bit later. Um, not about GTA 6, but about another thing. Um, yeah, this there's this quote on BBC. Um, Rockstar is known for lengthy game development cycles as it strives to perfect its games before they are released, but the wait for GTA 6 has been longer than ever, he said. That's
And yeah, there's so
from,
much hype behind it because of how big GTA 5 was and
yeah,
how big GTA 5 has been. I mean, that game's been alive for this many years. Um, and
yeah,
it's just surprising how alive that game's been. And now that GTA 6 is coming out, I feel like the hype's never been bigger for the game. So even if GTA
yeah,
6 like ends out to be a flop, all that Rockstar's gonna make so much money from it.
yeah. Hopefully they don't have the bugs that, what was it? Cyberpunk had.
Oh, I, by
Or
how long they've
this,
been developing this,
yeah,
if it has like half the amount of bugs Cyberpunk had, I guarantee that there will be riots on
yeah.
Twitter. I mean, X.com, guys.
Well, Cyberpunk also had very high system requirements as well, so I guess we'll have to wait to see the system requirements of GTA 6. Um, yeah. Is that it for this topic? Anything to add?
No?
Right. Um, then I guess we should head over to our next topic.
All right. Qualcomm Snapdragon X Elite and X Plus. Um, release dates, benchmarks, and more. So, Jesus Christ, it's just gonna pop up as I'm reading the article. Fucking scared me. What the hell? Why did that scare me? Um, yeah, Qualcomm and Microsoft have tried to make Windows on ARM a serious platform for 4 years. I mean, this has been in the public for a while, and the new Snapdragons are the most promising shot they've had. Um,
If this
so
fails, then it's never gonna work.
yeah, they're not getting on ARM if in mid 2024, so we're looking at late June, early July. Um, if these do not, or even like late July, if these do not come out and work immediately, you better bet Microsoft is never looking at Windows on ARM ever again.
Yeah. Well, Windows RT, their first attempt at ARM in 2013 was an absolute flop. Um, because none of the applications worked on Windows on ARM, but slowly progressing to be much, much better. And they've even got a compatibility layer similar to Rosetta now. Um, so it's definitely going in the right direction, but Intel's going to be in the doo-doo.
I mean, yeah. On top of that, with the compatibility, I mean, the Snapdragons themselves as cores, I mean, as CPUs are pretty good. I mean, 3.8 gigahertz for the Elite, and then 3.4 for the X Plus. Pretty good
Yeah,
cores, and considering considering on top of that, made to be um they're not made to be incredibly fast cores. They're more meant to be like
For
kind of
efficiency.
just average efficient cores. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty fast.
But apparently the battery life's going to be incredible on these things. Um, yeah. AMD and AMD is looking at ARM consumer processors in the future. Intel ain't. They're
I mean,
sticking to their
yeah, well, it's gonna be
typical um, thing. Intel's gonna lose out if
it's gonna be battery efficient. Oh,
Intel's going to lose out if they don't act fast.
I mean, yeah, Intel's already losing out,
Yeah,
to be honest. I mean, that's in a later article. We'll get into that.
yeah,
But I mean, the battery efficiency is going to come in because you're having 12 cores running at 3.8 gigahertz. I mean, that's a fast speed, don't get me wrong, but for a modern day CPU, that's pretty average. For
yeah,
12 cores running that, that's great efficiency for the cores. Like if you're running 3.8 gigahertz for 12 cores, that's pretty good efficiency. And I mean, you can dual core boost to 4.2, but you probably don't need that for most applications. I think that would probably only be for rendering. You would need that.
yeah. The
And
the I lost my line of thought. How many times has that happened so far today? uh,
it's a late night episode, you
yeah,
can tell.
been too busy watching the Phoenix. Uh, yeah, they lost by 1 point.
Unlucky.
Sadly, it was a very good game though. But anyway, this is going to be the best performance per watt ever for Windows PCs. Um, it's going to be such an improvement if it works properly. Um, they're not going to have quite the success in universal binary apps as Apple did, because there's a lot more developers and they can't really force them to do anything. Uh, it's going to be cool. And hopefully it can bring down the prices of computers as well, since
I mean,
I think is
I don't want to
genuinely
put I don't want to put any more fuel to the fire in the Windows versus Apple kind of flame than there already is. But these Snapdragons are reportedly up to 25% faster than a new M3 from
yeah,
performance tests. So these are not just um these are not just basic CPUs that they'll be running. These are like top of the line CPUs that you can run when they're boosted, obviously. These are like top of the line when they're boosted. So like you'll see a lot of editing um companies that video edit. If this is successful, they might honestly start swapping over to Windows.
yeah. Apple's had such a head start with this though, um, and it's making my poor Intel MacBook Air hurt here. 1 week and I
Poor
could have
Intel,
got
man.
Apple Silicon. Uh,
Poor Intel.
poor Intel. They'll they'll die in a blaze of despair
It's true.
from the heat generated by their own chips. Yeah,
Not
that's
even
not a
like a
great joke, is it?
you could stuff an Intel CPU in a fridge and it'd probably burn through it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. The latest Core i9s are so uncoolable. It's impossible to get the full performance out
And
of
the
one
thing is,
unless you
the
use a
funny thing
chiller.
is, they they keep on complaining and blaming the motherboard makers for how terrible their CPUs are.
Yeah,
How terribly optimized do you have to make your CPU before before you start like looking at yourself?
yeah. Well, I guess that's a good segue. We'll come back to the next topics. I guess that's a good segue to the Intel 13th and 14th generation processors having instability issues. Uh, yeah, this is bad. If you haven't heard of about it, then you need to stay more up to date. So, um,
Me to get into it.
let me just read this to make sure I get my facts right. So the higher end 13th and 14th gen Intel Core i9 processors have been having really bad stability issues. Lots of crashes, thermal issues, things like that. And it all seems to be because they try to overclock themselves too high out of the box, which shouldn't happen. And some tests have found that only 10% of these incredibly expensive CPUs are actually stable in their out of the box state. Um, Shame on you, Intel. You should be testing things like this, especially when people are going to pay what, like 1,000 New Zealand dollars for one of these CPUs, brand new. Uh, Let me just check the price of this. So 4900K is 1,058 New Zealand dollars. A 14900KS, which is overclocked out of the box, further out of the box, is 1298. Yeah, so Intel's got a lot to answer for, haven't they?
I mean, yeah, it's just crazy how they can release a CPU with this many issues. Like
Yeah,
it's not just like um compatibility issues with a certain motherboard from a certain manufacturer. It's across the board. Like it's
yeah,
not just compatibility issues with a certain motherboard. Like if you got a motherboard that only supports like these specific types of GPUs, then Intel doesn't work for some reason. But no, it's all motherboards that support an Intel Core i9, um, 13th gen or lower. They, it, I don't understand how you can make a core this bad. It's
yeah,
just shocking from Intel. 90% of them don't work as intended. 90%.
yeah. The
That is
fact that they've
crazy.
gone from being the best CPU manufacturer in the world to this, it, 7 years ago, AMD had absolutely awful processors, and Intel was so much better. But nowadays, I wouldn't recommend Intel to anyone. Based on this, um, AMG generally acts like the better company in most scenarios these days. Like if we look at the GPU thing, um, their pricing is so much better than Nvidia. Um, Much better performance per dollar. Uh,
Yeah, but the
yeah,
main thing that Intel got in was they were the main CPU producers for Windows. Like if
yeah.
you had a Windows computer, you'd have an Intel. If you had a laptop, you'd have an
Intel
Intel core.
inside.
And that's where their main branding came from. But now they're just trying to quickly produce all these cores and they just rush them through without proper testing.
Yeah.
And that's what's killing them. That's actually what's killing them right now.
This
All
is
these
why
other
Apple
CPU.
this is why Apple switched to ARM, so that they could rely on themselves, because they knew themselves would be reliable.
Yeah, but like the thing is like Apple they put in proper testing and they release it when it's ready. They don't
Yeah.
they don't just quickly release it as soon as possible. They do testing and when they know
Yeah.
it's ready, they then make a release date and they release it. It feels like
Apple
Intel's just trying to release as soon as possible. Like like before Apple can release the M4, they're trying to get these 14th gen and 15th gen out of here just to beat Apple, or
Yeah,
just to beat this Snapdragon X Elite that's coming out. That's the only thing that Intel's doing, and that's what's screwing them over. They're not releasing them when they're ready.
yeah. Apple doesn't actually have a fixed release schedule for their processors, um, which allows them to just have as much time or as little time as they want for working on each consecutive generation. And the M4 has come out only 6 months after the M3, which is pretty good in the scheme of things. And they've determined that it's ready for production. Yeah, but that chip's in an iPad, so it's not being used to its full potential.
Yeah.
But continuing on about Intel, this isn't actually on here. But have you seen the new naming schemes for their Core and Core Ultra CPUs?
No, I actually haven't. I've been looking too much of
I'll put the
Intel
link in.
after this.
Um,
Intel.
it's it's so weird. They had such a good naming scheme, and they've just ruined it. Uh,
What are they doing? They're dropping the I.
yeah. So I'll just send through the link to the new processors. And
What?
just have a look at it. The number after
Why?
core has no meaning at all. There we go. There's for the standard core processors. Now let's find the Core Ultra. But this naming scheme is just so bad. Like there's Core Ultra 5s that
Wait,
have
so
more.
did they just get rid of the I? Huh? Did they
Okay,
just get
so
rid of the i5 or the i7?
right, so let's just start with the core processors. Okay, so an Intel Core 5, the Intel Core 5 one processor 120HL has 12 cores at
Yep.
4.7 gigahertz with 18 megabytes of cache. The Core 7 processor 150U, you think that's better because it's got a higher number. But no, it's got a 10 core processor, 12 megabytes of cache, but a faster clock speed. So you usually associate with a higher number with higher cores and higher combined with higher clock speed. But this isn't the case here. Um,
I mean, the thing is also, that's max turbo. Like that's maxed turbo frequency. That's
yeah.
not out of the
Oh, they haven't put the base
packaging.
frequency there.
Yep. There's no base
Oh,
frequency as well. It's only max
yeah.
turbo.
And it's not even based on graphics. Like, okay, so we've got the Intel Core 7 processor, 150U, has got Intel graphics. Then there's the Intel Core 5 processor, 130HL. It's got Intel Iris Xe graphics. Like, this makes no sense whatsoever. Uh,
I don't know
I think
what
it's
was
done on
wrong with
clock
their
speed.
old.
It looks like it's done on clock speed, but then again, let me see if there's an example of this.
I mean, it is. I've sorted it by max turbo
Yeah,
frequency, and then 7. But there's also, if you look at
there's
the
a
Intel Core 5 120U, its max turbo frequency is the exact same as an Intel Core 7 150HL.
and then the Intel Core 5 120UL, which has a lower clock frequency than the Intel Core 3 100U. So
Yeah, which makes no
what
sense.
is this? But wait, it gets worse. If we go into the Core Ultra line, Um, there's a Core Ultra 3. Okay, so there's a Core Ultra 5 and a Core Ultra 7. The Core Ultra 7 processor, 165 UL, and the Core Ultra 5 processor, 135 UL. Both got 12 cores, both got 12 megabytes of cache, both got Intel graphics. The only difference is the max turbo frequency. But who knows if you're going to hit that based on what's happening at the moment with Intel. Um, but then there's, if I search by max turbo frequency, um, yeah, it is pretty orderly by
I
that.
think they sort it by max turbo frequency, because if you go numbers of cores,
Yeah,
it's 7 at the top, and then 9 has the exact same amount of cores as all of these Intel i7s,
but
but
normally,
1.1 gigahertz faster.
yeah, normally higher, the better processors also have the higher cache. This is so weird. And then some of them
Okay,
have,
no, the craziest thing is, okay, look at this. An Intel Core Ultra 5 processor, 135HL, right? 14
yeah,
cores, 4.8 gigahertz, 18 megabytes of cache, right?
yeah,
It is better, technically, better than an Intel Core Ultra 7 processor, 15 or 155 UL, which is 12 cores, 12 megabytes of cache.
yeah.
4.8 gigahertz, only 0.2 faster in the Intel
And the
Core
cache
Ultra 7.
and the cache matters a lot when it comes to
The cache is
gaming.
6. It's 6 megabytes less.
Yeah.
This
Cache
is
is
significant. That's significant difference.
cache is really important for gaming. Um, AMD tends to have a lot of cache on their CPUs compared to Intel. So yeah, for gaming, AMD's almost always, so much better than Intel. Um, but then there's Core Ultra 7s that have Intel Arc graphics, and there's Core Ultra 7s that have Intel graphics.
I don't know how to turn like how do you differentiate them? What's the difference? I don't know what. No, I know the difference between the graphics
Yeah,
things, but how do you tell the difference between the names? It's
it's
so weird.
it's just silly um, compared to what we're used to. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Although AMD's looking at changing their names as well, which is not going to turn out well either. But it's going to be
Well,
less
hopefully their
bad
naming
than
scheme will make
this.
sense.
Yeah,
Hopefully their naming scheme will make sense rather than this just confusing the hell out of
yeah.
everybody.
But then there's also Intel Processor, which replaced the Intel Celeron and Intel Pentium lines. Like, an Intel Core processor is also an Intel processor, isn't it?
I mean, any Intel processor is a processor.
Yeah. Intel, please fix this. Anyway, um, after that little rant there, shall we get on to our next topic? Um,
Yep.
oh, is it me? Uh,
Oh, do you want me to do it?
sure.
Alright. iPhone 17 Slim. Rumors point to a redesigned model in 2025. I'm sure most of us have heard. I'm pretty sure. Kalen, did you do a video or anything on the Apple's new Slim iPad Pro?
Yes. It's going to end
Alright.
up bending. I've
I
had
mean,
issues like this before. With this
if you
thing
want to check out the
called the iPhone
Apple
6.
Slim Pro, check out Kalen's video on it.
Yeah,
And then come back here. So, I mean, we all know what happened with the iPhone 6, right?
yeah,
That it didn't turn out well, but hopefully, let's look at the bright side. Hopefully,
yeah,
they learned from that.
yeah. But whenever any company just tries for thinner and thinner and thinner, it always turns out bad. Like, look at the Macs, for example. We had 4 years of awful Macs because Apple decided to go thinner, 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 and that just caused them to overheat and thermal throttle. It's not entirely Apple's fault though; it's also Intel. See a common theme with all of the problems today?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Maybe
the
Tesla doesn't need new GPUs, they just need Intel graphics and then it'll be fine.
yeah, um, yeah, the but slimmer phones will also probably have worse battery life, um, which is a big factor for lots of people.
And yeah, the thing that I don't like is how how long the iPhones are getting. Like genuinely, I don't need that big of a phone in my pocket.
Yeah,
Like anything bigger than an iPhone 13, and like even an iPhone 13, which is what I have right now, is still pushing it. It's still quite a large phone, and I'm gonna be honest, anything bigger than that, I would not want. It's just too large of a phone to the point where it's like, why even have a phone when I could just have a tablet
an iPad
or an
Mini.
iPad? Yeah, it's you're just making an iPad mini at that point.
Yeah, I'd love for small phones to return. Um, I would have loved to get an iPhone 13 mini.
I mean,
I
I
like
know the
small
joke
phones.
is, oh,
I
see.
like small phones. The only problem with them is that they don't have the battery life of a big phone, of a big Earth
I mean,
phone.
yeah, but the you know what the joke is? Every year, oh, not every year, but every new iPhone that releases, all they do is increase the size and then say they changed a bunch of things, and that's all they
And the
do every
camera,
year. That's the meme. They increase the camera quality and they increase the size and they say, "Hey guys, look, we have a new phone."
yeah.
I
And
mean,
they
as
and
much
they
as
give it
that
a
joke,
better chip, but it's
as
not like it needs it.
as much as that joke is kind of getting a bit overplayed, I mean, if you're looking at it here, now the joke is that, oh look guys, the phone's thinner now. Look, it's like a Pringle. You can eat it now. Like it's edible. Like I'm just so confused. Why would I need my phone to be that large and also that slim?
Yeah, the larger a thin small phone isn't as bad as a thin large phone in terms of durability, because a thin large phone has more leverage to bend.
And with the size that the phones are getting at, I just don't see I just don't see it lasting, to be honest.
Yeah,
I mean, a 6.9-inch screen on the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and if it is getting that thin, like if it's getting to iPad Slim Pro level thin, like
yeah.
I just I don't see it, and I don't think it's gonna last.
And I sure hope that Apple doesn't jump on the AI train to the extent that Microsoft has.
I mean,
Like,
the only way I could see it working is if they contact Nokia and then get Nokia to make their phones. Then
yeah,
maybe they'll last. But yeah, what you're
yeah.
saying, the AI stuff. I think haven't they already added like AI integration to Siri, or they're planning to?
They've added a little bit, but it looks like it's going to go a bit overboard in iOS 18. Um, so fingers crossed it's not going to be too much and it's not going to be absolutely in your face like Windows has it. Um, I I think the AI thing needs to calm down a bit.
I mean,
Like
I've seen a lot of
Grok,
AI support, but I mean, lots of it looks cool, but I don't see um it replacing kind of just general help. I can see why it'd be useful, and I feel like we should continue developing AI, but I don't think right now we need that much AI assistance, like as
yeah.
much as they're pushing it.
Um, Oh, I saw a post on X today that was of Grok, saying that the new iPhone 17 Slim had been announced.
Glad it got announced, man.
Yeah, the computer clan reposted it. Oh, it's so funny when AI messes up. Like there was this AI controlling a camera for a football match, but it kept on mistaking the referee's bald head
For
for the football.
yeah, yeah.
At that point, you've got to say, we need humans.
I mean, the referee looking back at that footage must have been really pissed off, or laughing really
Yeah.
hard. Either or.
And the viewers would have been so confused. Why are we looking at this head of the referee rather than looking at where the ball is?
I mean, it's the same thing with like AI driving stuff like that. I mean, since we're on the
Yeah.
topic of AI right now, do we want to transition over to our next topic?
Yes. And then we'll go back to Nvidia and MediaTek.
All right.
Um, okay. An open AI researcher has resigned, um, and he has claimed that safety has taken a back seat to shiny products. Honestly, I'm not surprised. This is what happens when companies get big. They they take away from their original focus, which was for OpenAI, it was safe artificial intelligence systems, I guess. Um, but if AI gets too out of hand, it could be really serious. Um, yeah,
I mean, it's the thing is, I feel like AI can be manageable. I mean,
yeah,
I have no doubt that AI can be manageable, and there's so many smart people working on it. The thing that I don't like is how um
it's hallucinating at the moment.
and also the workplace safety and how much work we're putting these smart people under. Like
Yeah,
we gotta realize that all the people working on this have probably been so stressed and so like it's just they're getting overworked because there's so much competition in just making the best AI
yeah,
like right now. That's what everybody's thinking, obviously. Like when it comes to high tech, everybody just wants to make the best artificial intelligence, and they're kind of putting workplace safety and honestly safety culture as a whole on the back burner just to
yeah,
make, as this person said, shiny products. So not only will I'm not too sure if they'll actually make these AI safely and have them uh, put in like safety precautions as they should um anymore because of the shit coming out. Like it's just not good for AI, the AI race as a whole. Like that
yeah.
this is starting to come out. That even OpenAI, which came out as like a good kind of
The good guy.
freelance company. Yeah. People who weren't Microsoft or Apple who didn't already have a stake in the game, coming out with this really cool AI, ChatGPT. Now they're this big company, and now they really do have a stake in the game, so they have to add on to the race, and it's not looking good. Honestly, for the AI race, it's not looking good.
Yeah, but talking about business, this is somewhat related, but um, you know how there's all of these streaming services. In some ways, it would be good to have a monopoly so that everything's just in one place.
But then again, if you have a monopoly, you don't have development,
Yeah,
so it's kind of a
there's
trade-off.
yeah. Um, yeah, ChatGPT can be really good, but can also be really bad. Well, all I guess, can. Like
I
I
mean,
remember
there's a
last year how Bing AI, well, what was called then, it's now Copilot, um, in its beta stages, kept on telling Luke from Linus Tech Tips that he was lying. Um, they was lying and a bad person. Okay, if you haven't seen that, go and watch it. It's quite funny. It's
I mean,
hilarious.
I know this is a bit out of pocket, but there's been a few cases of AI, like fake girlfriend AIs driving people to suicide. I'm not even kidding.
Oh,
And
jeez.
you can search up articles for it. There's been cases. Um, and if AI has that level, that potential of pushing people that far, like I don't know. I think we really got to be careful with how
We've
we're
got to wind
developing
it back.
ChatGPT and how we're developing these things and how open it is. Like you can search up AI chatbots right now, and I guarantee hundreds of pages will come up or a bunch of
Yeah,
chatbots you can talk to, and none of them are regulated. So it's a scary thought, honestly.
yeah. Um, but there's so many facts that AI can get wrong. Um, and that's the scary thing. False information. Soon you won't be able to know whether anything's real or not because the deep faking is getting so good. Um, it's scary. If you have decent computer hardware, then you can create a good deep fake of someone and convince people that this account is that person.
Yeah, and also all the AI voice stuff coming out.
Yeah, and how it's
It's
also
starting to
taking
become a bit
over
ridiculous.
lots of people's jobs as well. Like, if AI takes over everyone's jobs, then there's going to be a huge lack of employment, and then
Yeah.
everyone will be poor. Well, lots of people will be poor, and then that leads to poverty. Yeah,
Yeah, and also I feel like AI right now, what we should be using it for is data management. I mean, that's probably
yeah,
its best case application. It's just for data management and having it manage all these servers, which are, let's be honest, very complicated for humans to run. And human error there makes a lot of issues for everybody. So I think we should be looking at the applications where AI doesn't do anything directly with humans.
yeah. AI can also be good for sometimes good for studying things. Like if you give it the information, I use it instead of flashcards to quiz me on science, and I paste all of my notes into it, and then it questions me on it,
I mean, yeah,
which is
that's good
very
applications for
useful.
AI where it's
Yeah,
not it's not directly kind of using information that was like pre-given to it. It's using information that's given to it by its specific user, then giving it specific result, and then not doing anything else.
yeah,
Whereas now we're trying to make AI think for itself and trying to do all these applications while learning. And I think that's the scary part of AI when it becomes like not becoming sentient, but it someone uses it to do something bad.
yeah,
That's the scary part of AI and how unregulated it is.
and it also has no emotion, and it can't be made liable for anything it does.
I mean, yeah, that's also very scary because its user in the end is the one liable for the AI. Like if you think
Yeah,
about it. If you make an AI commit a crime, you're the one who gets in jail.
yeah. Did you see that the Rabbit R1 is just an Android device running an Android app?
Really? Oh, is that
Yeah.
the thing we got in DIT?
That we spent a couple of weeks looking into.
Bro, I
Yeah,
didn't even look at it. Bro. I'm gonna be honest.
yeah,
I was like falling asleep. Couldn't be bothered.
yeah.
How were the DIT classes? I wasn't here, because I had COVID. But
Well, I've designed my um, electronics thing, and I've completed the costings for the prototype. So
oh,
now I've got a
nice.
design and enclosure. But anyway,
I,
it's getting late,
I
so
think
we should probably get into our final two topics.
it's final two. I thought it was
Yeah,
final one.
final two: Nvidia and MediaTek, and then Qualcomm is bringing Linux to the Snapdragon.
I thought we already did the Qualcomm one.
We did the first one. Um,
Oh my
yeah.
god, this is a mess.
At
Alright,
least this is becoming a decent length, but this is the wrong time to be making it a decent length. Let's go through these quickly. Um,
alright, I'll do the
I guess
Nvidia
it's
one.
your
Okay,
turn. Yeah.
Nvidia, MediaTek cooking up a new laptop CPU, better than the Elite, better than Apple's M4, maybe. Alright, I mean, just a rumor right now on X.com that Nvidia MediaTek releasing the CPU. I mean, it's just a an arm war right now.
Yeah.
Just a war to get the best CPU out.
You might call it an arm wrestle.
It's arm wrestle
That's
between
so bad.
five different people.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest arm wrestle I've ever seen. It's an arm free for all.
Yeah. All of this competition is just going to drive performance up so much. It's really, really good.
It's good for the consumers.
Yeah.
I think it's honestly the best time for consumers.
Yeah. But Intel being just ignoring ARM is going to cost them so much. They're being stupid, not looking at developing ARM processors. Uh, yeah. But I wonder if
And
there's going to be any other companies that enter the ARM space, like VIA. In fact, I think they're already in the ARM space, but for consumer
I think
computers.
uh I think most after the Snapdragon, and if the Snapdragon is as successful as it's hyped up to be, I think most CPU companies will transition into ARM. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Although Intel might be too late. They might not survive it. Um, what else was I going to say? Uh, but the fact that a GPU company is getting in on the ARM stuff as well. Nvidia's made ARM chips for a while, but they're actually being very serious about it now. And it means that we're also going to have really good graphics on ARM as well. Whereas previously it's been pretty lacking
Thank
in
God we're
the
gonna
current.
have a CPU that is perfectly compatible with um, Nvidia GPUs. Because
Yeah,
I mean that's been a problem for a while now, and Intel's been alright, but first of all, CPUs are quite slow for gaming, and second of all, they have had some compatibility issues with Intel before.
yeah.
Now, now that they're developing their own CPUs, I mean, it's gonna be crazy if this CPU is as powerful as they're saying. Like,
However, it's
you
going
get
to
this
be
out of laptops?
However, it will be very, very expensive, knowing
I
Nvidia.
mean, yeah, of course, bro. They're gonna mark up the price. I mean, the chip is over $300 USD. I think that's for the cheapest one.
Yeah,
So like nearly $550 for us, probably, because they'll mark it up for New Zealand, because shipping stuff like that.
and exchange rates too.
Yeah, yeah.
But one exciting time to be covering tech stuff. Um, I hope I can get my hands on some of these things. But that means you, the viewers, need to get subscribed. Only 5% of you are. So get subscribed, and then we can hopefully make a bit of money so that we can then make videos about these new developments for you.
Please subscribe. I
Also,
haven't been paid.
yeah. Also subscribe to our Patreon. We've got a video coming out on Monday about setting up for this tech wrap up behind the scenes. I think you'll enjoy it.
Exclusive to the Patreon?
Yes.
What other exclusive things do we have to the Patreon?
That'll be the only thing at the moment. I'd filmed a video, but it got corrupted. So I've been saying since
Okay.
January that there's going to be a video, but that's not going to happen. That video is not going to happen because it's gone corrupted somehow. Yeah. Well, if we go into our final topic, this leads on pretty well. Qualcomm is working on bringing Linux to the Snapdragon X.
That's pretty good.
Good on them. There's not many manufacturers that actually do that. Linux is already pretty good on some ARM chips. Like, there's the Raspberry Pi 5. That thing is amazing. Go and watch the review of it. I've been blown away by the performance of the Raspberry Pi 5, and everything except graphics is better than this MacBook Air I'm using now. Yeah, so Qualcomm's contributions to Linux include support for UEFI boot via all the standard Linux bootloaders, and a long list of drivers and features, including low-level chipset drivers, low-level chipset features, storage, USB connectivity, and more. They're doing the opposite to Nvidia. Nvidia keeps all of their makes it very hard to use an Nvidia GPU with Linux. And this is the complete opposite. Like, they want you to use Linux with a Snapdragon X. And if this works well, and once they finally have desktop chips that are hopefully socketed and upgradable, I will probably shift my PC from my AMD Ryzen system to Snapdragon X, just because it'll be so much more efficient and, I guess, faster. As long as I can use all of the other normal graphics cards, things like that. So that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Linux on ARM is so much better than Windows on ARM, though. Like, most Linux applications work on ARM.
Yeah, and it's more efficient as well.
Yeah, and they're all compiled for ARM, whereas Windows, they're not, because it's been on x86 for so long. There's not many applications that are natively built for ARM at the moment. But the cool thing about Linux is that I'm looking at putting Linux onto my eMac that I've got here. Viewers, you haven't seen this yet, but you will sometime soon. I'm going to put Linux onto it and try and install some modern applications. The old PowerPC uses RISC, reduced instruction set computing, which is what ARM uses. So in theory, lots of things should work on PowerPC. But we're going to have to try that. I don't know yet. I'm probably going to be making that video tomorrow. So yeah, I'm quite excited to do that. Yeah, get subscribed for that. Anyway, I think that's it for tonight, unless you have anything else to say.
No, not really.
Okay, well, that was a decent length. 1 hour, 5 minutes. I think that's the longest tech wrap up we've done, and there wasn't even a break. Um,
I mean, yeah, that was a
yeah,
good. Like, I felt like the format was so much easier to talk with as well.
yeah. We've literally got a table here with titles and articles. That's it. There is no script. Look at this. This is our um, document. Oh, you can't even see it through the camera. Oh well. But anyway, you probably get the point. We've gone completely off script, and it's worked, and our new intro's worked as well. So I guess that brings it to an end. So
See
thank you
ya.
guys, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this tech wrap up. Remember to like, share this with your friends, um, get subscribed, unlike 95% of you, and subscribe to our Patreon so that you can, one, support us, and two, get behind the scenes content. It's only like, I think it's only $5 a month. So the same as Float Plan. Uh, yeah, we'll be live at 5 p.m. next week. See you next time. Bye.